Blessings, everyone. Blessings, Curly. Blessings, Robert. Blessings, Miss A. Blessings, Shondala. And blessings, Brittany. Blessings, 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 everyone. Blessings, Shell. Blessings, Brittany. Blessings, Cool Cat. Way B. Blessings, everyone. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings. I was just sitting here and I just saw that one of my middle school boyfriends, I just saw that his brother lost a son. I know about a week or two ago I came on and I said a lot of stuff was going to happen with this cold front coming in, that we were about to lose a lot of loved ones and including children. I don't think we understand how important it is for us to choose God in this season. When God says he gives seed to the sower, it's deeper than just money. It's deeper than you just serving. It's deeper than you just praying. It's deeper than your family. It's so much deeper than what we think it is, because we quote these scriptures saying he gives seed to the sower. So first we're going to start off to what the seed even represents. The seed represents Jesus, because Jesus was the only one that died and rose again. So God signifies everything as Jesus. So everything we do, it has to implement Jesus. It has to it has to kind of go back to Jesus. Like Jesus is the key. Like this is why he says, in order to get to him, you must go through Jesus. And that's because he is the number one seed. God can only give you back what you are willing to give him. Because some of us do not trust God with our seed. And when I say seed, I'm talking about our children. Because we do not trust God with our children, he cannot protect our children. He cannot give us seed back. He said he gives seed to the sower. Because some of us do not trust God in our finances. This is why we think we have to steal, kill, and destroy ourselves just to make money. And that's because we don't trust him in our finances. Because some of us don't trust him in our health, this is why we have sickness, illness, and disease. God said, I give seed to the sower. So whatever it is that you're trusting me with, that's what I can give you back. Because we do not trust him with these things, this is why the enemy is sifting our children, sifting our family members, sifting us like wheat. This is why. God said he gives seed to the sower. I never seen this seed begging for bread. I'm just laying here and I'm thinking about the people who are losing their family members, their loved ones. And God can't give seed to the sower, especially when you're not living according to his word. And I know a lot of us don't like when people start talking about how we live, but we have to be real with ourselves. We have to take accountability. It's the way that you are living that's allowing God to not be able to give you seed. He can't give seed to the sower when you're living outside of his word, when you're doing whatever it is you want to. I have a cousin who just lost her mom, which is my aunt on my mom's dad's side. And one minute she's so depressed and she's stressed out. And then about a week ago, she was just going to have a birthday party. And she was like, let's have a hold down on the bus. And I'm like, how is it okay that one minute we're stressed and the next minute we happy and then right back we stressed? Like, can't anybody see what we are doing to sabotage ourselves? So I'm sitting here looking at my cousin. She's stressed. She's depressed. Her mom just unexpectedly died. It's probably about 5 of them and all. And then a week or two, I'm talking about every day she's stressed. She's talking about she can't live without her mom. And this is why God is taking people, allowing it. This is why the enemy is sipping y'all family members like wheat, because y'all put so many people, places, and things before God. I know you love your mother, but you should love God more than your mother. I know you love your children, but you should love God more than your children. Because you do not do these things, when the enemy come in and sift these people like wheat, why is the enemy able to take your loved ones? Why is the enemy able to come steal, kill, and destroy you and your family members and your children? Because of the way that you are living. Because you are choosing to live a certain way. You know, I used to be a drug dealer, so I don't want you all to feel like I come on here and I bash you all and make you all feel some type of way because of the way that you live in. I literally used to sell every drug but crack. I used to sell every drug, baby. I was a hustler. I could walk out my door and make money. Do you hear me? When I say God called me in this season, he didn't call no wimp. He didn't call somebody who didn't know who didn't know what it was. He didn't call nobody who was around here getting circles ran around them. When I say God called me for purpose, So I'm sitting here watching my cousin. I'm seeing her every day. She's posting her mom and she's like, I miss my mom. I can't live without my mom. And I'm like, these people have children. We got 5 or 6 kids and we talking about our mama leaving and we can't live without them. And then the next week, here come the enemy. Uh-oh, birthday time. Forget about your mama. The same way you forgot about that situation of her dying when it was your birthday, I'm going to need you to forget it. When I say forget, I'm going to need you to keep that same energy the next day. Stop going back to that dead place. Stop reminding yourself of that death and that hurt. We are so prone to going back to the things that hurt us, that remind us of the grief and the hurt and the pain. Like, when do we get it? The same way we can just shift gears and say, oh, it's my birthday. Let me go put my hair and my makeup on. Let me go. Like, literally, I seen her post, we gonna have a hold down they had a party bus. And she said, let's have a hold down. And I'm like, hold down. And this is the stuff that the enemy, this is why he's able to come in and sift you like wheat. Because instead of us looking at that death and finding a way to get closer to God, all we could think about is how we could sabotage and have fun, how we could do more things that leads us away from God, how we could say certain things that just cause God to just not even move on our behalf. Because remember, you're going to have to come to God a certain way. You can't come to God doing certain things. And I know some of us, we think God he accepts us as we are. But as you start walking with God, and what I mean by this, think of a person who just met God yesterday. And when I say they just met God, they endured something so horrible that they started seeking God. Now, this person has been with God for a day. Now, think of the person that has been walking with God for 20 days or 6 months or 5 years. You are held accountable for what you do. The person who just met God a day ago, God gonna accept you in the place you at. That means if you still smoking, if you still fornicating, if you still lying and cheating and manipulating, you still sleeping around, God gives you grace. He gives you grace because you don't know him. You don't know his ways. You don't know the way he expects you to live. You don't know you had not been taught how he expects you to talk to him, how to come to him. So God he gonna accept you if you be like, God, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I ain't never prayed before, but F this sucking. Like, he will literally accept you that way, and he will come in and bless you. Because God's been blessing y'all that way, y'all think y'all can stay that way and you think it's okay. Even when I first started walking with God, like, I had a gold in my mouth. Like, I'm talking about, I used to curse so much. I just used to do so much. Even as I look back on the grace that God gave me, because we like to say, y'all need to give people grace. God gives you grace, and we give you grace due to God giving you grace. And it's really not even for us. It's for God to do it. Y'all be expecting us to do what God's supposed to do. If I stand right here and hold your hand, I'm going to get distracted. God the only one supposed to stand right here and hold your hand. God the only one supposed to sit right here and give you grace and constantly remind you over and over again not to do certain things. It's God, baby. You need God. So for when y'all start walking with God, because I know it's one on YouTube, she cursed her butt off, y'all, and I know I done seen her on there for a whole year. I just don't want y'all to think that God be okay with what y'all be doing, and y'all think that y'all can keep doing it in the name of Jesus. So let me tell you what I mean by that. So if you just start walking with God and you don't know God's ways, and God give you grace by saying, okay, I know people didn't teach you right. I know you weren't raised right. I know you raised yourself. You used to doing it the way you think it do, and God said, that's okay. I'm gonna let you keep doing it that way, and I'm gonna slowly for slowly start stripping stuff up out of you. And when I strip it out, I'm gonna show you another way to do it. So that means if you negative, God will let you stay negative, but he'll also start putting that stuff out. And before you know it, you will be saying affirmations. You'll start catching yourself and start being like, I ain't the head. I'm not the end. I am not the tail. I am the head. I am above. I'm not beneath. Like, he'll start teaching you slowly for surely. Because I've met some people that's so negative that they'll be like, I can't never do this, and this never happened for me, and I ain't gonna do this, and I can't do this. And I know a lot of y'all know these people. God accept these people this way. This is called grace. What happens is we have tend to take in grace and think that we just supposed to apply it at all times. Let me show you what happened. Now, there's levels to grace, and let me show you. So for the person who just started walking with God, God is moving in your life even though you curse. Even though you still with the wrong man or the wrong woman, God is moving in your life right now. You still see God. Just because you see God, God is giving you grace on the level that you on as you continue to grow. So now for the person who just started walking with God, now you learning to pray, you reading the Bible on your own, you starting to want to go to church and congregate with people. Now you on a different level. So God is saying, okay, you learning a little more, you learning to do more things about me. Now, it's a different level of grace. That means you can't keep doing the stuff that you were doing at first. So I know you used to curse a whole lot. You used to go around certain people and still sell drugs and stuff like that. You're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to have to give me something. You're going to have to trust me that if you give me this, that I'm going to give you something else. So what happens is we got people who walking around with God, who've been with God for years and years and years. And then we want to sit here and say God gives grace. No, baby, he gives grace to the sower. He said, I give seed to the sower. Y'all be walking around with God for 10, 20 years and y'all still be doing stuff y'all did when y'all first met God. You can't do that. It's time for you to change your ways. This how the enemy keep coming in. This why your grandkids going to jail. This why your kids can't keep no job. This why sickness, illness, and disease keep coming upon you. And it's because y'all won't grow up. You won't change your ways. You keep thinking that because you serve God, because you know of God, because you pray, that God's supposed to keep accepting you the way you are. No, baby, you're going to have to keep giving him more. You're going to have to keep saying, okay, I'm going to have to stop doing this in order to keep walking with God. What happens is we want God to keep on giving us stuff and doing stuff in our life, and God be like, I ain't touching it. That ain't my word. You know wrong from right. You know better. Why you keep staying in this place? Why you keep doing this thing? Why you won't stop? And you do it in the name of Jesus. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for people to claim to know God and live a certain way. Like, we have people on here that they'll come on here shaking their butt. I'm talking about dressed in any kind of way, and they'll be reading the scripture. Like, we'll literally be reading the scriptures. We'll be in here trying to pray over people and literally be in here cursing and swear up and down God in our life. Yes, God is in your life, but I promise you the enemy in there too. And it's confusing to have both of them on both sides of your shoulder. You're going to have to choose which one of the people you going to evict. You either going to evict God or you going to evict the enemy, because you can't straddle the fence. You can't 1 minute serve God, the next minute you don't serve God. Like, that's what causes confusion, and you don't know if you coming or going. You don't know why you keep getting blessed and why you keep getting stripped, and that's because you playing both sides of the field, and you can't do that. You're gonna have to either choose God or choose the enemy. I mean, it's time up. God said he gives seed to the sower. God can't give you what you're not willing to give him. And a lot of y'all make God look bad, and y'all do it in the name of Jesus, and y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. If you know you can't give God your fullness, if you know you're not willing to sacrifice that weed, that liquor, that woman, that man, if you know you're not willing to sacrifice your children, your family, you might as well stay on over there with the enemy. Because when you come over here with God, baby, I promise you, you're going to end up sacrificing everybody you love. And why do we have to sacrifice everybody we love? Because God sacrificed Jesus. And when I say sacrifice, I'm not saying you got to unalive these people. I'm saying that these are the people that you love more than God. These are the things that you love more than God. And because you are putting people, places, and things before God, he said, place no other God before me. Make no other idol before me. This is why a lot of y'all people leaving. This is why a lot of them, this is why stuff happening to them, because you are creating gods. But you want God to bless you. But when it comes down to what you want and when you're supposed to do certain things for him, you put other people, places, and things before him. How does that make sense? I'm sitting here watching people, children pass on Facebook, and I'm like, these people sell drugs. These people are prostitutes. These people, and when we don't even know what we doing that's causing stuff like this to happen, when you don't even know what you're doing. Hold on, y'all. They trying to block my stuff. When you don't even know the stuff that the stuff that you're doing that causes the enemy to kill, steal, and destroy. Like, you're going to have to either choose happiness every day or choose doubt and worry and stress and depression every day. Do you know how easy it is to choose God? Do you know how easy it is to evict the enemy out your life? All you got to do is stop living a certain way. Stop doing certain things. Stop hanging around certain people. It's so easy to evict the enemy out your life. It's so easy. Like, why would you want to 1 minute be happy and 1 minute be depressed? 1 minute be at peace and 1 minute be worried and stressed. Like, why would you want to keep living your life like that? Don't nothing in your head don't make you say, why 1 minute I'm like this and 1 minute I'm like that? Like, why can't I just be happy every day? I just literally saw my cousin every day crying and saying she don't want to live and that she hurting because her mama just left, and then like 3 weeks or a month later she was like, we finna have a hold down on the bus. I was like, what? How does that make sense? And I want to share this with you because I want you to look at your life and what you're doing. 1 minute you on TikTok saying, amen, thank you, Jesus. And the next minute you trying to sell drugs. And you know God. You talk to God. You hear God. Being that you can hear God versus the person who just came to God, who can't hear God, who don't know God, you held accountable for what you do. You gonna have to choose God. I remember when God told me to stop selling drugs. I had just got out of a relationship and God moved me to Bartlett, Tennessee. And he said, you're going to have to disconnect from everybody. I was hearing God. I wasn't confident in hearing God, but I chose to step out on faith to believe what he said. Because let's just be real with ourselves. What comes with drug dealing? Like, I've had guns put to my face. I've been robbed. I've done all type of things, y'all. Like, stuff have just happened to me. So sometimes you just got to sit back and be like, hold up. I need to leave these type of men alone. I need to stop dating these type of women. Maybe I do need to move from this part of the city and go to the other part of the city. Because I was from South Memphis, over there by Orange Mound. I was from South Memphis. I've stayed all over Memphis. But when God moved me, baby, he moved me to the white neighborhood. He moved me all the way to Bartlett, Tennessee. And from Bartlett, I went to Cordova, from Cordova to Collierville. So when I tell you God will literally take you from one place all the way to the other side, the problem be when y'all try to do what you did in South Memphis and Bartlett. Y'all think God be moving y'all to act the same way you were acting at first or do the same thing you were doing at first. And what happens is this is your old trying to catch up to your new. Your old ways won't let you be renewed. Your old ways won't let God change you because you want to still be who you used to be in a new place. This is why it's not working for you. I don't know who I'm helping. Because you keep trying, because you were playing cards and gambling in your old place, you get to the new place and still want to play cards and gamble. You can't do that, baby. Why wouldn't God leave you in your old place, in your dead place, to do the same thing you're doing in the new place? So for him to move you, this is God giving you a fresh start. He's saying, I'm taking you away from the people that are sabotaging you. You can't seem to stop hanging around them, doing what they doing. You can't stop people pleasing them. So let me move you and get you away from this environment. What happens is we'll move and go back over there every day. I had cousins that moved out of based on income, and soon they got a car and got out of based on income. They was over there still every day as if they still lived there. And that's a mindset, a poverty mindset, to stay around the people that you connect to, that you feel like you connect more to, far as, oh, well, all them smoke and they drink and they based on income. And that's my mindset. Even though I got out and I'm in the house now, I still got to go back to my vomit. I still got to go back to the dead place. I still got to go back to the people that I relate to, because I don't want to grow up, because I don't want to change my ways. So let me go back to the people who accept me the way I am. And when God start pulling you away from these people, that means that God is saying, hey, I'm trying to change who you are. But even on our journey with God, our old person try to catch up with our new person. Has anybody ever been trying to walk with God and then you start feeling like your old ways coming back, or your old people starting to contact you, or you start to go back to your old places? Like, you stop going here for years and years, and now you get out of that place, and here you come trying to start going back. You start looking for the exes. You start looking for things that you can connect to and attach to. And this is your old ways trying to catch up to your new ways. And this is why God said old has passed away and new has arisen. When God started moving you from school to school, I remember my mama we kept moving. I would never graduate from schools, y'all. Like, it would be one of those, like, you know how you go to school, elementary, go to 5th grade. I'll be about to graduate and then we'll move, and I'll end up going to a school that's probably go to 6th grade, or I'll end up going to a school like I never would be able to graduate. And that's because my mom kept shifting us. But you got to understand, even when you get a transfer from the school, I remember when we had moved and I let my son stay at a school, and I had hated that. I told him, I said, you need to go to a new school that's over here, and that's because you got to understand why you need to leave. Because he stayed at that school, so much stuff happened. He started dating certain women. He started getting caught up in certain things, and I said, I knew I should have transferred you. When God starts shifting you out of neighborhoods, God is trying to protect you and your children. He literally trying to give you a new opportunity. He trying to open new doors. He trying to surround you around new people, a new environment. Because when you away from certain people, you won't do certain things. But if I could bring you around other people, this allows you a chance to adapt to a different environment. Because we don't understand that we are supposed to change when we go into these new rooms, these new doors, we find ourselves bringing the hood into the new place. And this is why people say, I ain't gonna never change. I am who I am, because you don't understand why God keeps shifting you, whether it's a job, whether it's a school, whether it's a house. God is moving you because he's trying to teach you how to let old ways die, how to let go of old people, places, and things in order to get to the new, in order to have something different, more. You're going to have to keep sacrificing your old ways, the old people you hang around, the old things you used to do. Is anybody catching what I'm saying? Are y'all getting what I'm speaking on? God said he gives seed to the sower, but you're going to have to be willing to give him seed. What is it that you're not willing to give him? Yes, Lord. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody in the room? Am I talking to myself? Am I relating to anybody? Let me get my phone and see if somebody in here, because I can't see no movement. And I can't stand. Come on, God. Move quickly, honey. Move quickly. Now I say I'm finna get my other phone to see if some movement coming. Now stuff wanna start moving on the page. Like, am I teaching? Am I teaching or am I teaching? This is why God be telling some of y'all need to move to different cities and states. Let me get my other phone just to make sure. This is why God be trying to move y'all from different cities and states, because you don't understand there's some stuff that you have done in the old city. God is saying, I need to rewrite you. Everybody know you as the whore. Everybody know you as the drug dealer. This is why God had to change some of the people's name in the Bible, because we had done so much in our past. We had done so much in our past that God was like, baby, it ain't no return. You need a new identity. I gotta I gotta renew you. I gotta what you call that? Like, I gotta reconstruct you. Like, I gotta change the whole way that you sound, that you look, that you walk. And a lot of y'all, my name is Danielle. It was Danielle, and he changed it years ago, like 2020, 19 or 20, and he said it was Daniela. So when y'all see me, it's Apostle Daniela. And I remember I hated that name because I said it sounds like a Latino name, but I understand why my name had to be changed, because when you have done so much in your past, this is why God said, I have to take you away from these places. I have to renew you. I have to change you, your identity. Some of us don't even want to go through the process. You know, you used to be a whore. You know, you used to be a prostitute. You know, you was a drug dealer. So God has to take you along this journey to recreate a new creature. This is why he said, when you are getting saved, that you are no longer who you used to be, that you are a new creature in Christ. Why? Because your old ways have passed away. The old things that you have done, I have forgiven you for it. It has left. It has went away. It has disappeared. But people gonna still try to remind you of who you used to be. I got people right now from my past that it don't matter how much they see a difference in me, they gonna still try to connect with me in our past, in our old ways. They gonna still kind of say Danielle, and like you don't see the new person in front of you. You don't see me talking a different way. You don't see me acting a different way, carrying myself a different way. Why can't you see the new person? Why you keep trying to take me back to this dead place? Why you keep trying to remind me of who I used to be and what I used to do? Like, these are the people God wants you to get away from, because these are the people that'll keep you hostage. They'll keep reminding you, and they don't even know that they be condemning you. See, the enemy condemns you, and God convicts you. And let me give you the difference. Just how I just said, people keep holding a tab to who you used to be. Man, we used to jug together. We used to sleep with all type of women together, man. We used to do so much stuff in the streets, man. You still in the game, man. You still be selling clothes and boosting and stuff. You know, when you been connected back with somebody, that's the only relationship y'all have is your past. That's condemnation without even knowing they condemning you. You reminded me of who I used to be because you can't even recognize the new person in me. That the only way we can connect to each other is by taking me back to my past, taking me back to my dead place, taking me back to laying that bed of back to my vomit, taking me back to laying in that bed when God told me to pick up my bed and walk. When I picked up my bed and walked, baby, everything about my past left. People would condemn you and don't even know they condemning you. Now, let me tell you what God would do. Now, just say you move to a different city or state, and stuff you used to do back at home, you starting to do it in a new place, and God will start reminding you of, He'll take you back, and you'll be like, oh, why I feel like I did this before? Why I feel like I'm going backwards or something? Why I feel like I'm stuck and nothing is moving? What's wrong? What's happening? And that's conviction. That's the Holy Spirit making you feel like, hold up now. I like things of God. I like good things. I like purity, righteous things. And you trying to contaminate me with the stuff that you used to doing. You going to have to sacrifice those urges. You going to have to sacrifice those people, places, and things. You going to have to gain some self-control and discipline because you in a new place. Don't nobody know you. Can't nobody judge you. Can't nobody remind you of who you used to be. Can't nobody take you back to your past. God is saying, I got to bring you to this new place so that the people that I bring around you, they going to only see the new creature in Christ. They're going to see the new person. So God will convict you and it'll make you feel bad. And you'll be like, oh, God, I repent. Oh, Jesus, I can't believe I had that thought. I can't believe I was thinking about doing what I used to do. The devil is a liar. That's conviction. Now, when people start coming back and saying, man, you used to be a whore. You this, that, and the other. You didn't keep your kids. You weren't no good mother. You used to always be in jail. You ain't nothing. You ain't going to never be. That's condemnation. That's to tear you down. That's to keep you stuck. That's to bring fear and doubt. That's them judging you to be judgmental. God said you gotta stay away from them people because I'm trying to build you up. I'm not trying to make you shut down. God trying to build you up. Yes, Lord. God trying to build you up. Yes, you cool. Yes, Lord. I gotta say this. Look, God said He already got the 99. He said He trying to shave the one. If I only save one person, I'm cool. I'm cool knowing that I'm walking in purpose. We be too busy trying to think God trying to save the 99. He already claimed to have them. They already claimed to know Him. God said, I ain't got time for hell for them. They just because they feel like they know me, they don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They don't want to do nothing else. They don't want to elevate. God said, let me go after the one that don't know me. Did you know that the one that don't know God, that didn't go to church all their life, that don't really have a relationship with God, them be the easiest people for God to train. Them be the easiest people for God to use because they don't have religion and tradition stuck to them of what they think they know and what they already been through. That's why God calling people in this season. That's why y'all see a lot of people who weren't raised in the church coming up. And that's, just think about it. You rather take a man, just think about some of y'all who been married before. You rather get somebody who been married before versus somebody who ain't never been married before. Some of y'all rather have people who ain't never been married before versus having people who have been married before. And that's because it's a mindset. I remember when I used to walk, when I was younger, I was in the streets and I used to be like, I want a man who ain't got no kids. I didn't understand what that consisted of, a man with no kids. I didn't understand that consisted of somebody being selfish, who didn't have to think about nobody but they self. And they probably weren't going to be able to understand a woman who didn't have no kids. That they know that you got kids and they want to provide for you, but some of them don't have that mindset and that capacity, especially if they didn't have a bunch of sisters and brothers. And some of them who did have sisters and brothers still selfish and inconsiderate. But because they only used to taking care of just themselves, it's kind of hard for them to go out and think about you and some kids. I used to date this guy, and he would go out and he would go out and get something that I like. Like, just say if I had a favorite food, he would go get something that I like, and he would only get me something. He wouldn't get the two kids nothing. And I used to be like, what the hell? Like, why he buying me something and ain't getting the kids nothing? So he would come in the house with just me something to eat and the kids just sitting there. And I'm like, what the hell? So I had to change my mind about what type of man I want. I said, no, I don't need nobody who ain't got no kids because they not understanding to people with kids. Then I was like, I really don't want nobody who got kids, because most people who got kids, they still be sleeping with they children's mothers and children's fathers, right? So I just was like, nah, it's just some stuff I just didn't want. And I wouldn't date people like that, because I knew a lot of people who would literally sleep with their children's mothers and fathers still. So I was just like, I know I didn't want nobody like that. But then I ended up getting married, and I married a guy who had 3 kids. And this was just God opening me up. And this was just God, forcing me to grow up and look at things in a different way. Just because some people do it don't mean everybody do it, which it was. That marriage did not work because of that. But at the same time, God must mature me. In this season, God is trying to renew your mind and change some things about yourself. And you're going to have to be willing to go through the process and go through the doors and go through the situations that he put you in, so he can renew your mind. The only way God can renew your mind is he's going to have to put you in a situation you have never been in, just so that you can see the outcome of it, to make you think a different way. You're going to have to be open in this season for what God is trying to do. Y'all better keep y'all kids and look, y'all gonna have to keep y'all loved ones in y'all prayers. And when I say prayers, I'm talking about when you decide to pray with God, you're gonna have to give God a yes. That means you thinking about changing your mindset, the way you move, the way you think, the way you walk, the way you speak, and the people that you hanging around. You're gonna even have to think about moving out of a different city or state. You're gonna have to, because you're gonna need something new. What's crazy is y'all will pray and keep living the way y'all living, and this is how the enemy keep coming in, stealing y'all stuff. He said, but the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. How do the thief steal, kill, and destroy? Because you think you can live a way that you want to and think God gonna keep you. This why the enemy over here taking y'all family members. Prayer ain't enough. It's time out to just be praying. You've been just praying for 20 years. You've been just praying for 10 years. Prayer ain't enough. The enemy is sifting y'all like wheat, because you actually think you can wake up and say, thank you, Lord, for waking me up in the morning. You actually think that you can wake up and just bless your food every day, and that's enough for God. And he going to keep your children and keep your family. God said he gives seed to the sower. If you're not willing to change your life for your family, if you're not willing to change your life for your children, if you're not willing to change your life for your health, if you're not willing to change your life for your wealth, God can't give you that. He can only give you what you're willing to give him. This is called giving and receiving. Sowing and reaping, giving and receiving, seed time and harvest. I can't give you what you're not willing to give me. The enemy make y'all think just because you pray over your food, and just because you pray and tell God, thank you for waking me up in the morning, that this is why he gonna keep y'all. Why you think you keep losing stuff? Why you think your children are leaving this earth? Why you think family members are leaving this earth? It's because the enemy keep making you think you can just pray and God gonna continue to keep your people. You gonna have to learn to give God more than what you giving God. You've been just praying for 5 years now. Ain't you tired? Ain't nothing happened. All you've been doing is sitting in the same spot, sitting in the same house, driving the same car. Like, ain't nothing in your head made you feel like praying is not working. And I'm not saying it don't work. That's just God showing you that, it's a time and place for everything. In that season, you were just praying. You seen me gave you a job. In that season, you were just praying. You seen me open up doors for opportunity. In that season that you was just praying, you seen me reveal myself to you. Now you in a new season and you thinking you just gonna pray. You're gonna have to do more than pray. You're gonna have to change your mind about the way you living. You're gonna have to change your mind about how you raising your kids. You're gonna have to change your mind about some of the stuff that you say out your mouth. You're gonna have to change your mind about the people, places, and things that you hang around. Because if you don't, this is why the enemy keep taking from you. This is why he keeps stealing, killing, and destroying. Like, I know y'all see people on TikTok that be blessed every day. Like, I know it's somebody on here. You be like, man, I've been watching these people for such and such. Why they get a blessing every day? Why they blessed every day? Like, ain't nothing in your head dawn to you that it's some people on here that literally be blessed every day. You don't hear them come on and doing half of the stuff that y'all do, because one minute y'all blessed, the next minute y'all crying. One minute y'all blessed, the next minute you're going to a funeral. One minute you blessed, the next minute you can't pay your bill. Like, haven't that dawned to you that something that you're doing may be wrong? And this is what the enemy got you in a circle. It's a cycle. It's a generational curse, because people have told us that we free and we could do whatever we want to because God gave us a free will. God also gave you common sense if you wanted to have some. Life was not intended for us to lose things. Life was for us to prosper, be in good health, to love one another, to have happiness, peace, joy, long suffering. This is what life was intended to be. So I know when y'all come on here, y'all see people who look like they don't never go through a problem. Now, I'm not saying people are perfect and that we don't go through problems, but what I'm saying is I know y'all see people on here be like, dang, why it look like they life so much easier than mine? And that's because God wants you to have an example of, look, your life can change if you choose to do something different. Your life can change if you change what you're doing. Your life can change if you stop speaking the way you're speaking. God ain't putting these people in your face for you to think that they better than you or for you to feel less than. God putting them in your face so you can change the way you think and to be like, dang, I want to be like that one day. Because instead of us asking a person, how can we do what they doing to be at peace? How can we do what we doing to get our blessing every day? We'll sit here and be jealous and hateful of people and envy of people when God only put that person in your face just so you can see that it's possible for you to live a life with peace. It's possible for you to live a life in faith. It's possible for you to live a life abundantly. It's possible for you to live a life happy with joy. But because we think of things always in a negative way, and this how the enemy play tricks with y'all. The stuff that you need to get offended by, you don't get offended by. I got offended when I seen my cousin just kind of shutting down because her mother died unexpectedly. And then a couple weeks later, she was like, we're going to have a hold down on the party bus. Like, you can't make that up. And now she back in this dead place. She like, oh my God, I just want to die. I don't want to wake up. Like, how the hell do you shift like that? Like, if you can't see something wrong with it, and that's because the enemy make us feel like if we could do whatever we want to and it ain't no consequences. Every time you do something that's not of God. So because she was able, she probably could have got a healing if she didn't do that party the next day. Talking about let's have a hold down on the party bus. God can heal and deliver somebody who actually want to be healed and delivered. So if she would have stayed in that place of being broken, God would have came in and sat with her. Because she had enough energy to go be a hoe on a bus. This is how the enemy trick us. God can't come in there and do nothing while you in there doing that. You living in sin intentionally, willingly. And now you back in this broken place. Like, how do you be broken and then you happy and then you back broken? Like, why would you want that? And what we do is self-medicate. What we do is self-medicate. We smoke, we drink, we party, we pop pills, we have sex. Like we go on trips. We do all this stuff to make ourselves feel good for the moment instead of addressing the real issue. Instead of addressing the real issue. The real issue is you broken. You hurt. You in pain. Come on, Rose. That's the real issue. And instead of facing it, hurt and pain, instead of facing it, we go pop pills and we get high and we go put a wig on and we feel good for one day. And after that day, we be back in that hole. We be back talking about pray for me. No, pray for yourself. Change your own life. Stop doing the stuff you're doing. Stop living the way that you're living. Stop letting the enemy make you think that it's okay going back and forward. One minute you happy, the next minute you stressed. Stop allowing the enemy to take your joy, to steal, kill, and destroy you. Come on now. It ain't hard, y'all. It ain't hard for God to bless you. It ain't hard for you to have peace. It ain't hard for you to be happy every day. It's because you're not willing to turn from your wicked ways. You're not willing to sacrifice the people that don't mean you no good. Look how many people have lost their life because they was with the wrong people. And they weren't even the bad people. Look how many people have lost everything because they married the wrong people. Because they were attached to the wrong people. I know people who in jail been serving life, been in since they were children. Just because they was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Y'all don't know how to let go of the things that that's sabotaging y'all, that's hurting y'all, that's keeping y'all in a dead place. You gotta want to be free. You gotta want to be happy. You gotta want God to want to bless you. You want the blessing, but you don't want to do what needs to be done in order to get the blessing. You're gonna have to turn from your ways. You're gonna have to stop doing what your family doing. You're gonna have to stop living the way that you living. You're going to have to stop drinking, smoking, and partying and doing what you want to do. And I know it's fun. After so long, some of y'all ought to be growing up. Like I used to smoke weed when I was probably about 17, 16, 17. I used to smoke weed, probably 18. I can't remember. I didn't smoke it a lot. I wasn't a big smoker. But when I would go around my family, I would smoke. You know, it's something about peer pressure. When you're around other people who doing it, you just do what they doing. Even if they don't tell you, you just want to fit in, you know. So I used to smoke weed mostly with my family because everybody was drug dealers or drug addicts or just, on drugs. I remember I used to smoke, like I used to smoke. And then I started seeing how everybody in the family smoked, the kids smoked, the grandkids smoked, everybody doing it with each other. Like, that's a cycle. If you can look back and be like, okay, I used to do this and now they doing it and now they doing it. Like, can y'all see the generational curse in it? And how everybody, each generation doing the same thing. And the enemy has made us feel like it's okay to do these things. Instead of you getting high every day so you won't face your fears, why don't you just go see a therapist? Why don't you just go get some help? Stop self-medicating. Because all you doing is feeding that generational demon that's been passed down from your mama, from their mama, from your mama, from the kids, from the like y'all just passing that same demon, which is what? Depression and stress. Like I literally used to smoke weed, and then I started saying, like, why would I smoke something that put me to sleep? Because I would get high and go to sleep, y'all. And I'm like, I ain't got no problem going to sleep. I ain't got no problem, like, why would I do this? I started having to literally just think about some stuff. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for obeying God. Thank you for sowing. He gives seed to the sower, press down, shaking together, and run it over. Bless her seed, God. Bring it back, God. Multiply her. Order her life, God. Structure her life, God. Renew her mind daily, God. Give her the boldness, confidence, and courage to walk out of any relationship, any situationship that's not of you, that's keeping her in bondage and lack and poverty, that's keeping her in her old place when you're trying to take her to the new place. Cover her with the blood of Jesus, God. Give her a yes spirit. Give her a will do, a want to, and a can do spirit to do your will, God. In Jesus' name. It's time out, y'all. It's time for y'all to grow up. I used to smoke when I was 16, 17 years old. Like our kids smoking now. When do you get to a point to be like, now, you know what? I've been smoking too long. Maybe I just need to hang this thing up. You know how hard they'll put their heels up and be like, baby, I ain't hoeing no more. A drug dealer be like, I don't sell drugs no more, baby. I hung them shoes up a long time ago. It's like a boxer. They hang their boxing gloves up. They be like, yeah, baby, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I just been doing it all my life. There should come a time in your life that you should be like, I've been doing this all my life. I shouldn't be doing this right now. Because I know mothers that's been doing, powder and drugs all their life, and their kids doing it now, and they doing it together. And like some ought to be like, listen, I shouldn't be doing what my children doing. When do we grow up? When do we take accountability and say, yeah, I've been doing this too long. It's probably, I've been giving a dope man too much money all my life. Maybe I just need to, we need to do some examination today. Today is the 5th day of the wave. 5 is the number of grace, because we always talking about God give us some grace. So this is not a coincidence that I'm on here pointing out certain little things that people not paying attention of. God is saying it's time for you to let go of your old ways, your old things, the old way of thinking. I remember when I was walking with God, I used to have a nasty walk, y'all. So I'm a little pigeon-toed and a little knock-kneed, and I'm a little bow-legged, right? So my legs used to do a whole lot of stuff, and I used to take advantage of it, right? So I would get out the car, baby, and then, baby, I would just be swinging. And people would be like, "Oh, you got a ugly, sexy walk, And I knew it, and I knew how to get the attention. I knew how to get what I want, because I had a Jezebel spirit that had been passed down generational to me. I didn't ask for Jezebel. Jezebel just came up from my lineage. My mom, my aunties, my grandmas, and those before then. They just carried that little spirit, and they did what they wanted to do, and they manipulated men to get what they want. So in the midst of that, I inherited it once it came down my bloodline to me. But it's something about when you find Jesus, your blood get to change to the blood of Jesus and not the blood of your people. But I remember I had this nasty walk, and when God started structuring me, because I think it's a song and it talks about how I got a new walk and a new talk. It's something about God that when you start walking with him, baby, he started changing the way you walk. I remember walking one day while I'm walking with God, and I remember saying, let me fix my legs so I can walk right, because I don't want that walk no more. I didn't want that stanky walk. They'll call it a stanky walk. It looked so bad, but it was like, dang, I bet she got some good stuff. One of them walks, I ain't by myself. I know you heard of it before. Somebody told you that before. But I remember as I was even walking with God alone a while ago on my journey, that God started, fixing my walk. I stopped dressing a certain way because I stopped wanting to get certain attention. In this season, you're going to have to stop walking a certain way. You're going to have to stop wanting the attention. You're going to stop having to dress a certain way. You're going to have to change the way you dressing. And that's because God trying to renew your mind. He trying to change some stuff. He trying to rewrite your story. He trying to stop certain people from being gravitated to you. Because, have you ever dated people and you be like, I got a type, and it's not intentionally a type. It's just you just seem to draw in the same type of people, and it's something that you're doing. It's what the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carrying yourself is drawing those type of people to you. Am I talking to myself? Is anybody in the room? I don't see no movement. I used to be one of them people, like I used to date nothing but drug dealers. And I used to be like, why the hell I keep dating drug dealers? And it was because it was something on me that was attaching drug dealers. Remember, majority of everybody in my family were drug dealers. Majority of everybody in my family were drug dealers. My aunties, my uncle, they were drug dealers. They were whores, prostitutes, pimps, murderers. Both sides, mama and daddy side. And it was something about that was drawing those type of people to me, like I was connecting to these people. And as I started walking with God, I was like, why I keep dating the same type of people, but I can't keep them. I couldn't keep them because God was trying to make me become something better than that. He was trying to make me become better than them. That I needed to hang up a hat, that I needed to give God a yes in order to kill, steal, and destroy that generational curse. See, some of y'all know you the curse breaker, but you don't know how to break the curse. You're going to have to stop doing what everybody else doing in the family. You're going to have to think a different way. You're going to have to choose to leave them. You're going to have to let them go. You're going to have to move to the other side and not give them your phone number. You're going to have to do the opposite of what everybody was doing. And then I remember God moved me to Cordova towards Collierville. And I started meeting people with master's degrees. They got on suits and cardigan. And what you call them pants? I can't think of them right now, but they would have them little pants. The nice little fitted button-down t-shirts with the nice fitted pants, or the little Caucasian boy shorts, the little polo shorts, and the chinkos and stuff like that. And baby, they got master's degree. I'm like, I ain't never dated nobody with no degree. I ain't never dated nobody who barely had a high school diploma. And God, you starting to bring different type of men around me. Oh my God. Baby, I started feeling some type of way. And this was God saying, yeah, because I'm changing you, because I'm shifting your mindset, because you're allowing me to work on you. I'm able to introduce you to different things. See, if you wouldn't never sacrifice your family, if you wouldn't never sacrifice your way you were thinking, the way you were talking, if you wouldn't never sacrifice everything that you had been taught in order for me to teach you a new thing, to renew your mind daily, I wouldn't be able to transform you so that I could show you the different men that you deserve, the men that's going to honor you, that's going to respect you, that don't mind having a conversation with you, that ain't going to think you crazy when you get to know them or try to ask them about themselves. Because I used to date people, y'all, and they'll be like, that's stupid. Have you ever dated a guy or a woman that was so, they were retarded, and you hang around them so much that you'll start thinking something wrong with you? And it was because they didn't understand you. Like one of my baby daddies, like I used to just be like, what's your favorite color? We prone to do stuff like that. He used to be like, that's stupid. Why would you ask me that? Because I'm trying to get to know you, fool. But I remember his family was schizophrenic and bipolar. The whole family. Now, I didn't know this at first, but it's a reason why God tell you to get to know these people at first. But I remember their family was bipolar and schizophrenic, y'all. I did not know they rode on the yellow bus at school. I didn't know they used to get out the yellow bus, run into the cafeteria. I just didn't know I was with some retards. After I got pregnant, then I realized. But I began to start seeing, like, they started trying to make me feel like I was crazy because I didn't think like them because they were slow. And I started thinking that I'm like, is something wrong with me? Like, they would make me question stuff that I was doing. Like, stuff that I would say to them, they would have me questioning myself, like, am I dumb? Was that stupid? Am I crazy? Like, crazy people will make you think something wrong with you. And if I had not got out of that family, I would have thought something was wrong with me. I know I can't be the only one who been in a relationship where people made you think you were crazy. And it ain't that you crazy, it's something wrong with them. And if you don't get away from them people, you're going to conform to their way. You're going to start doing what they think you need to do. You're going to start thinking the way that they think. Ooh, sheki tararabaseki tererabo shokote. I just thank God for every man that I had a child with that I left. I just thank God that I had the strength to leave, because most of us women, we so foolish that we'll stay with these ignorant men and women just because we got kids with them. I'm so grateful that God put that Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, and Sarah, and Hagar story in that Bible, because it was only me reading that story that I understood that everybody ain't supposed to stay together, even if we got kids. That it's okay if they leave, and it's okay if they don't take care of them, because God didn't even tell Abraham to give them anything when he told them to push them off. When God told Abraham to leave Hagar and Ishmael, to let them go into the forest, he didn't even tell Abraham to take care of him. He didn't even say, here, give them this to sustain them. So it helped me to understand that I don't even care if they don't do nothing for my kids. They weren't supposed to be here anyway. I wasn't never supposed to be with them. And I most definitely ain't finna stay with them just to say I got a baby dad. Because the world make us think that, oh, we got no fathers in the house. Majority of these people we got kids by ain't fathers. They sperm donors. And majority of the women that we got kids with, they ain't mothers. They were just an incubator, a oven. So it's just my mindset started changing about what I thought and who I thought and why I thought people were supposed to be in my life and why they need to stay. I look at so many people who be like, I just want my family. Well, you're going to have to go with God so he can teach you, give you the family he want to give you. The family you want is not right. The family you want messed up. But God got a perfect family. That means he got a man that's going to love your children. That means he got a woman that's going to support you and going to be there for you and do what she needs to do. What we would do is literally sabotage these children and claim, we'll swear up and down, we just stayed together for my kid. You know how many people that I meet, they're getting a divorce right now? And they only stayed together just to wait till their kids got older. So you mean to tell me you would sacrifice being in the house with somebody that you don't like, that you're not in love with, just so your child can see what not to do? And they gonna grow up doing this. They gonna grow up accepting people who don't like them, who don't touch them, who not in relationship with them, who barely say two words with them. They gonna be okay with people sleeping in the next room with them just because they saw their mama and daddy doing. They gonna be okay with people coming in the house at any time of night and day. Like people don't even respect houses no more. Like these men will literally be gone from sun up to sundown. They don't come in at a decent time and you making it okay. I stopped dating people if they came in my house at a certain time. Oh, baby, you're not getting in the house. I got chairs and everything against the door. You want to be outside, you're going to stay outside. And don't let it be cold. I did not play. You're going to respect me. I demand mine. If you go out with your boys, I love you. But I'm going to need you to be in the house. Yeah, the 2 o'clock the latest. And that's because you grown. And that's because you're going to put some respect on my name. Because if I go out with my girls and come home at 2, 4, 5 in the morning, you're going to feel some type of way. So I'm going to need you to give me what I can give you. I don't know who that's for, but you might need to put your foot down, or you might need to question if that's the person for you. Like, we want to be in relationships, but we live single lives. Like, that makes no sense. We live with these people, but we live in a life like we single. That makes no sense. You might well be single, baby. And what I've noticed is just men just want some in-house vagina. Like, long as I got somebody in the house that can clean up and do what my mama did and give me some vagina every day when I want to, I want to live how I want to live. I want to go outside and do what I want to do. But when I come in the house, yeah, we a family. Nah, baby, ain't no lukewarm. You either my man or you're not. You either for the streets or you ain't. We either together or we not. Because I always had this in my mind that what one won't do, about 10 more ready to do. And I'm just not in a place to be settling no more. I want somebody who want to be in the house with me if I want to be in the house. And instead of him going out with his boys, he'd rather go out with me. Now, I don't mind him going out with his boys, but if you going out with your boys more than you go out with me, I'm starting to think you ain't with your niggas no more. You going out with, you with somebody else. Because whether you with the boys, you plotting up to go meet somebody else at the club or something. I just ain't looking for that type of relationship. Like if my kids could point out stuff like, Mom, they don't never have their kids. Like my son told me one day about a guy I was dating. He said, Mom, he only had his kids 2 times since y'all been together. I left that man because when kids start realizing that the men ain't consistent and that they ain't fathers, you need to, God said out of the mouth of babes for a reason. These kids will point out stuff in people that we will be willing to ignore. Like they will literally be like, Mom, he always on his phone. They always gone. Why they always out of town? See, when kids start noticing stuff, and what we have learned to do is to tell the kid, get out of grown people business, go in the room, be quiet. No, baby, keep talking, out of the mouth of babe. The baby see stuff you seeing, they just saying something about it. And if the kids can see what you seeing, baby, them kids got some discernment. Them kids got some insight. They got some understanding. They know some stuff. You might need to listen to your kids. I mean, what we need a daddy for if he ain't never here? Like, what a woman is. You always on the phone with the woman, but the woman ain't never here. Like, what we need that for? Come on now. Like my daughter, I was dating a guy who used to be high. Like, he used to be high on heroin and powder, y'all. I didn't know it. But I'm just big on if my kids start noticing stuff, it's over with. I just always been like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I was worried about, I don't know, how it looked. I really don't know. But one day my daughter, she probably was about 4, 5, and she come in the room one day and she said, Mom, Toe sleep standing up. He just standing there asleep. You know them people who be on them 4 bars, or they be on them, speed ball, and they be in there like this. He in the kitchen sleep. So when my little 4-year-old come and tell me Toe in there sleep standing up, this what came in my head. Yeah, I got to get away from him because my daughter going to be trying to figure out how she can sleep standing up. Because, kids, they look at stuff differently. They be looking at, oh, I want to do that. And then she going to start saying, I want to sleep standing up. And then when she get old, she going to start realizing that, oh, when you get high, you can sleep standing up. So I didn't want to open no door for my kids to start thinking that they want to get high or start wanting, imitate people like that. So I started saying, yep, it's time to go. My daughter see this. Now, my son noticed that one man didn't never have his kids. My daughter realized that this man be sleep standing up. What's wrong with him? Guns laying around, he high, he always on the couch, barely get off the couch, sitting there with a plate in his hand all day, like don't move. And when we leave, he always like, just make it make sense. Like some of y'all doing this now, and God got me speaking on. See, I don't have no problem being vulnerable and transparent with you, because that's what's wrong with the church. We don't know how to let people in on some business so that they can learn from their mistakes. We too busy thinking that we perfect because we don't want to tell people and show people how they can break free from the stuff that they doing. That I know you love that man or that woman, but your kids recognizing some stuff in them that I don't think you want to introduce to your kids, because I wasn't looking for my son to be used to walking. Like I had men that would just literally shoot dice so much that they would come in the house, kiss me, and walk on out the door. All we saw was their back. So I remember thinking, I don't want my son thinking it's okay just showing his back to a woman, always walking out of her life, always walking out the door. I didn't even have no good parenting in my life, but it was just certain things. It's something about the people who didn't have their mamas and daddies in their life. We just desire to be good mothers and fathers, and that's because most of us never had that. So we be like, I never do my child that way. So it's just certain things I would be like, my mind just would be like, I don't want my son to think it's okay to just leave a woman at home with kids, to just be walking out the door and all she see is his back. Like I stopped dating people. I would leave people because of this. Like it wasn't even nothing bad. Like we didn't have to fight. We didn't have to argue. If I saw something I didn't want my son to get accustomed to, if I saw something I didn't want my daughter to get accustomed to, I got up out of there. I would be gone. See, I used to keep my running shoes on. I used to be a runner. So any little thing, I would be looking for something like, yeah, nope, sir. I don't want my son to do that. I don't want my daughter to do that. This is why I could not be a stripper. Now, I'm not knocking the people who were stripping, because you got to get it how you live. I just hope you didn't let the money make you, that you made the money. Yeah, Players Club taught us that. But at the same time, I couldn't be a stripper because I didn't want my daughter to think it was okay shaking her butt all day. I didn't even let my daughter be a cheerleader because I didn't want her to think. See, I feel like that's the start of it. We be at our houses, and when the family have parties and the kids be dancing while they little, and then they keep dancing, and before you know it, now they're a majorette or a cheerleader. And I'm not saying this for everybody, but most people who kids used to dance at the family gatherings and parties, they probably became majorettes or cheerleaders. Most of these people are strippers. So I just always been one of them people that was very preventative, that I'm not going to open no door that I don't want open for my kids, or that I just don't want, because we think it's cute when they're young. But when they start growing up and going to be whores and strippers, and, when they start doing this calls, do whatever, yeah, we be like, what happened? It started as a child. When you start letting it be okay for them to dance and shake their butt in front of the family members. And if the families accept things, then the world gonna accept things. Come on now, tap the screen. Let me know you're in the room with me. If the family accepts you doing it, you're gonna be doing it at school. You're gonna be doing it at your friends' houses. You're gonna start doing it when you're away from your family. Yeah, and before you know it, now you're comfortable doing it because everybody accepting it, and now you on the strip pole. So I just want none of them. I was never that person that I was like, nah, I can't do that. I always been about my money. I always been a hustler because it was in me. It wasn't on me. It wasn't in me to sit down and watch and wait for nobody. I'm always doing something. I'm always trying to get something going. All I had to do when I got over here with God is God had to teach me the right way to get the money. Oh, you don't have to work hard for it. This is why the love of money is the rule of all evil. Let me break this down for y'all to understand it real good, because some of y'all like to think just because we so and tired that that's the love of money and the rule of all evil. That's not what that means. When you're willing to go sleep with a trick to make some money, that's the love of money. It's the rule of all evil. When you're willing to go to work from sun up to sundown, and you don't never miss a day, and you gotta go there, and you don't care what happened, you gonna make sure you there. That's the love of money, the rule of all evil. When you gotta, you will lie to your spouse or somebody just to go out of town to go be with an ex or somebody like that, just so you can make some money to pay a bill. That's the love of money and the root of all evil. Because I think y'all getting mixed up because God literally told you to bring the tithes to the storehouse. If you are not tithing, you need to start tithing. You are stealing from God. And when you begin to steal from God, this allows the enemy to come in and sift your finances. This is why you can't keep money in your hand and in your pocket, because you don't tithe and you don't sow. He can't give seed to the sower if the person never sows. Come on now. He said, can a man rob God? Yes, through tithes and offerings. So if you don't tithe, you stealing from God. That's why the enemy keep attacking you. The only way you're going to keep having finances is when you start doing what God tells you to do with your money. When you start feeling like you got to do any and everything to make some money, that's the love of money, and it's the root of all evil. It makes it evil because you're willing to go beyond and overboard to get some money to do what you feel like you need to do or want to do. Now you sacrificing whatever. You sacrificing your body, your mouth, because some of y'all go get down dirty for it. You sacrificing your children, your health, your family, your job. Like some of us are like FedEx. FedEx is the #1 prison. And I'm just being honest with y'all. These people have the best insurance ever, but them people work so hard and be so exhausted they never even use their insurance. The people die on the job. I'm just being honest. And that's because they work them to death. That's the love of money. It's the rule of all evil. When you don't even know that the systems that have been put in place has put you in place to go against God's word. God never intended for you to work from sun up to sundown, 7 days a week. He never intended that. Why would he tell you to be fruitful and multiply? Why would he tell you to have a family? Why would God be about family if that's what he intended for you to do? How could you have a healthy relationship? How could your family be at peace about what you do if you are always gone, if you ain't never there? Because we have to talk about the love of money, because we really be thinking just because pastors come on here and start teaching about tithing and so on, the first thing they be like, they go to prosperity teacher, baby. You supposed to have prosperity. You ought to want to be with somebody who talking about prosperity, because I have heard pastors talk about God don't want you rich, that you ain't going to have no mansion, that it's okay to struggle. Now, it's so funny that we have accepted being in lack and poverty, but soon somebody try to wake you up and change your mindset about money. We want to talk about the prosperity teacher. I'd rather go with a prosperity teacher than a broke teacher. I'd rather be with the one that's anointed to teach me how to get my money than to let me, because we have done some crazy stuff for money now. We have slept with people like, let me just break it down. I have slept with people that I didn't even want to sleep with just to get some money. I have had people that I would never date tell me, D, just let me take care of you and your kids. Just come on and move in so I can take care of you and these kids. I don't care what you do all day. Just come home. And I was like, why would he want me to do whatever I want to and come home? Now, somebody would have took that up and said, shoot, I would have did it. I ain't got to pay no bill. I ain't got to worry about nothing, but you still got to come home to a nigga that you don't want. I just ain't never been that type of person. Like, my heart too good to just sit right here next to somebody I don't want to look at and not, nah, I just can't do that. Like, I just ain't that. I can't use you. I ain't finna just intentionally agree to use you just so you can have somebody next to you. And yes, somebody would have been like, oh, he's just trying to make sure you got a roof on your head, you and the kids. That's okay. I'm not selling my soul just to have a roof on my head. I don't know who I'm talking to, because some of y'all will stay with these people just because they paying bills. You're going to have to try God. We be running away from the people that teach us how to get the stuff that we supposed to have. God said, bring the seed to the store, bring the seed to the house, the tithes. He said, you stealing from him. So let's think about every time we commit that what that is. That's a commandment, right? That's a commandment. Thou shalt not steal. So why would you think God gonna be able to bless you if you were out here stealing from him? See, this is what the enemy wants you to think, that when you don't tithe and when you don't sow, that it's okay and that God gonna bless you. And that's why your life been going in hell and you've been trying to figure out, what is it? 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down. Why I feel like I'm going in a cycle? What's going on with my finances? Because you're a thief. And why would God bless a thief? And this is what the enemy make us think, because we'll get a check every Friday and we'll think we blessed. No, you just work for that. The love of money is the rule of all evil. I was just sharing with my spouse this morning. I said, did you go to the bank? I said, God is opening doors, and I want you to listen to what I'm about to tell you. I said, God is opening doors, but when we forget to do what God is telling us to do. So he had been sowing. He had got on the wave. I said, I just need you to try the wave for 30 days. So when he sold the first time, he sold for favor. So something happened where God gave him favor. So this was God revealing to him that what you just did worked. Keep doing it. So he was like, oh, I'm finna send something else. So he said, I need to name the seed every day. I said, name it every day. You ain't got to tell me. So I tell him today, I said, did you go to the bank? I said, because God is opening doors for you to walk through. What happens is we don't mind shifting our life for the things that we want to. And let me kind of dumb this down. Just say you asked God for, just say you got on this wave and then you got a job like the next day or the same day. You knew it was God in what you did. What happens is we'll forget to do what we've been doing, and we'll go into that door and we'll start conforming to that door, forgetting about God. And what God is doing is saying, I'll bless you at the same time that you're willing to try to do the things that I'm trying to teach you. You're going to have to learn how to do what God is telling you to do. So what I mean is, even though you got this job, you're going to have to keep sowing every day. You're going to have to keep doing what works that got you in there. What happens is we get the job and we stop sowing. We forget about what God was teaching us and showing us. And all God was doing was trying to teach you to keep doing the stuff he wants you to do in the midst of him blessing you. Some of us don't know how to do what God wants us to do and be blessed at the same time. This is called putting God first. This is called seeking the things of God first, by not forgetting what he wants you to do. And as you look, and this is how you get the desires of your heart, because check this out. You wanted a job and God said, I gave it to you because you started sowing. I don't know who this for. And all you got to do is don't forget to keep doing why I gave you the job. What happens is we get the job and we forget to stop sowing. And God was like, hold up. How you forget me that fast? This is how you get the desires of your heart. What happens is we start getting the desires of our heart and we'll start forgetting what we were doing for God. And God said, I'm trying to bless you while you're doing it. See, most people be like, your harvest don't come right back. So some people make you think, okay, you might get your blessing next year or some years from now. It's going to come up in your time of need. But what God doing in this season, he moving fast. He's speeding up time for you. So God, like, I ain't got 10 years to get you some stuff you should have got 10 years ago. I ain't got 10 more years to do this with you. I'm trying to get it to you fast. All you going to have to do is learn quickly. All you got to do is just learn the things that I'm telling you to do for me. Everything that I'm teaching you, I want you to keep doing it every day while I'm blessing you. Do not get the blessing and forget to keep doing the stuff that I want you to do. Remember, I wrote the Bible based upon instructions on how you're supposed to live life. So because you've been living your life according to how I want it, this is why I'm opening the doors. And if you keep on doing what I'm telling you to do, I'm gonna keep opening the doors. Sometimes we just go through those doors because we so focused on the desires of our heart that we forget to do what God desires. See, God can only give you what you're willing to give him. So when you start focusing on the things that God desires, which is saving souls, which is sowing, tithing, which is intercession, praying, which is being worship and praise. What we like to do is still worship and praise and pray, and we'll forget the tithe and sow. Like, we like to do some of it and still think we're going to be blessed. Like, we'll do a portion of it. We'll be like, I was listening to my worship music this morning. I was doing affirmations this morning. I did my live this morning. Yeah, I tied last week. And God was like, what? But you got paid twice after that. We don't know how to keep doing what works. And this is how the enemy sabotages us. He keep making us think it's okay to do the bare minimum for God, and we're going to stay in the place of the blessing. This is why you be blessed 1 minute and the second minute is gone. You be like, everything was just working out. I was just seeing God order my steps every day. I was hearing him every day. What the hell happened? You forgot to keep doing everything. We want to pick and choose what part we want to do. We want to just wake up and pray. We don't want to put seed in the ground. And the first thing the enemy tell you is the seed is not always money. You don't have to always sow money. Well, why don't he say you don't have to pray or you don't have to praise? Why he keep making you feel like that the money ain't important? And ain't that what you need? Money? Why he keep lying to you about your finances? That's why when y'all come on this wave, I teach you how to make it a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle of being blessed. That's why Dr. D can come on here and share testimonies every day. And that's because God wants y'all to see. I'm not coming on here being boastful. I'm not coming on here to make y'all feel less than me. God wants you to see you could literally live a life like this every day. Of me moving in your life, of you seeing me. Because we have seen him throughout our life. And what I mean, we may see him every 5 months. Every time we get paid, that's the only time we think we blessed. Every time the first of the month check comes, that's the only time we feel like we blessed. And God, like, I never intended for you to see me every now and then. I intended for you to be in relationship with me every day. I intended on you seeing me every day. I intended on you hearing me every day. Come on now, it's a lifestyle. This a way to live life. Why you think he said train them up in a way that they should go? Y'all actually think we're supposed to be training these kids how to be in gangs, how to throw gang signs up, how to carry guns, how to sell drugs. Y'all won't even teach them the things of God. He was saying train them up in a way that they should go so they shall not depart, because he was expecting you to be living the way you were supposed to be living so that you could show them how to live. All y'all showing these people is how to sell drugs, how to get in gangs, how to be pimps, how to only be rappers, how to be dropouts, how to rob and how to steal, how to be drug dealers. And we okay with it. And even though most of these mothers on here, we see our kids living a certain way and we accept it. And then when they get on the live, we feel some type of way. Well, you just watch the enemy have his hand on your child the whole time. You just watch the enemy sift your family his whole life. You just watch the enemy steal, kill, and destroy your family. And you didn't one time say nothing. You didn't one time do what was best for your child. You watched them sell them drugs and make that money. Matter of fact, he was bringing you money to pay your bills. You didn't watch them have no decent life. You watched them cheat on all them women. You watched them people sleep with all them men. You sat here and watched these people do this. How could you think God gonna protect them and you letting the enemy live in their life every day? You didn't one time tell one of them girls, my son got 4 other girls. Find you somebody else. Now, after you tell them the truth, it's up to them to leave or not, because you did your part. I remember I dated this guy and I contacted his mom and I was like, I'm just trying to see if your son is married because I just feel like he lying. She said, well, whatever he told you, that's what it is. I was like, you a horrible woman. And that's because some of these mothers have been so hurt. They are bitter and miserable that they don't mind watching them sons tear another woman down. When God was giving her the opportunity to say, this is somebody that was done like you. You have the chance to save her and help her like nobody helped you. See, when we tend to think that our sons are better than us, hold up, baby, you was a woman before you was a mother. And you mean to tell me you don't see that woman as your daughter before your son? That you don't see that woman as you before your son? See, that's a different type of love. God had to teach me how to love. He said, yeah, she is you. You are her. They your daughter. You they daughter. I had to learn how to love women better. I had to learn how to look at people as me. So when you sit here and watch these men and they mamas lie and cheat and know they lying and cheating, they don't even love themselves. They so hurt and broken and ain't never been right that all they want to do is see somebody else hurt and broken. They heart ain't right. For you to sit right there and watch your son cheat on all these women, tear them down, break their heart, you still killing and destroying your family lineage. This is why the enemy come in and sift y'all like wheat, take the fathers away from their children because the mother never stepped in and did what was right. Do you know how easy it is to do something right? See, God will send me or send somebody like you to go tell somebody the truth. Now, what they do after you reveal the truth, that's between them. It takes 2 seconds to tell a person, you know you ain't my son, the only one, and they'll be standing right there. If I was you, I wouldn't talk to him. He was just with somebody yesterday. Now, what she do after that? You did your part. You did your part. You can't sit and watch somebody be stepped on, lied to, and manipulated and cheated because you horrible. Your heart ain't right. And that's why you by yourself and you think your son, your spouse. Ooh, who is this? Your heart ain't right if you can sit and watch somebody mistreat somebody and you know you were mistreated. That's God testing your heart to see if you're going to allow somebody to be done like you. You the way you are because of how men did you. And God trying to see if you're going to allow another man to hurt somebody else. You ought to love that woman enough as if you was that child, as if that was you in your younger years before the man broke you, before the man mistreated you and caused you to harden your heart. You ought to love the woman more than you love that situation. But because we'll sit here and be like, that ain't got nothing to do with me, laugh and thinking it's funny, you held accountable for what you don't say and what you do. That's not right. God giving you a do-over. And until you step up and do the right thing, God can't bless you. He working on your heart. He trying to see if you allow another woman to get done like you. See, somebody else fumbled their ball when they watched you go through it and never told you the truth. Or maybe they did and you just still accepted it because you didn't know what love was. But God said it's your turn for me to bless you, for me to heal and mend your heart, for me to give you love again, for me to put stuff back together, for me to renew and restore it. And I'm checking your heart and what you do in every situation. I got to trust you with people. How you think you get favor? Favor comes from people. So when you all be on my wave and I shout out every person, place, or thing, got to obey God concerning you, that means God going to use some people to bless you. And if I can't trust you to do what's right with people, that means that you don't have the first commandment, loving. I can't trust people to favor you.
You stopping your own blessings. I don't know who this for. But you stopping your own blessings because you don't know how to love. And you're not loving others right. These tests, you failing tests. If you will sit there and watch a person mistreat a person and don't say nothing, how could you say you walking with God? How could you say you a child of God? How could you serve God? And you will sit there and watch a person be broken and lied to and manipulated and cheated on. The same way that was done to you. Somebody fumbled the ball with you. They were being tested too. God wanted to bless them with everything. Instead, they let their child do that to you. Never said a mumbling word. And you finna sow what you reap. So because you reap that, you gonna watch somebody else get it. It's a generational curse when you don't even know that you sabotaging yourself by what you do to others. God can't give you what you're not willing to give somebody else. If you can't give nobody love, why you think he gonna give you something? Why would he send somebody to love you when you don't love nobody correctly? See, I told y'all we'll be asking for money. You don't need money, baby. Your heart needs to be right. Because we'll be sowing seeds saying prosperity, financial blessing, breakthrough. I need some money. And God will be like, baby, I don't trust you with no money. I don't even trust you with people. You don't even know how to love right. You're too broken. You're miserable. You're selfish. You're inconsiderate. Why don't you try loving again? Why don't you start seeing women as how you used to be? And stop doing what the enemy did to you. Because it was the enemy in that person's mother that still killed and destroyed your happiness, your faith, your journey, your peace, your happiness. It was the enemy in them that still killed and destroyed all these years of your life of being miserable, unhappy. All they had to do was plant one seed of truth. You know how easy it is to tell the truth. That's why people don't like me. Dr. D be telling the truth. I don't care how the truth sound, y'all. Some of the truth gonna hurt some of y'all kids. Some of this truth gonna hurt some of your family members. But you gotta know all truth is God. Whether it hurt, feel good, sound good. If it's the truth, baby, it's God. That's why you can't have feelings and emotions when walking with God. Because God is all truth. And this is what God was trying to show us with Trump. It don't matter how horrible of a person that they are. It don't matter what they say that you uncomfortable with, that you don't like. Because they willing to speak truth, I can use them. God just looking for somebody who gonna speak the truth, who ain't gonna stand by and watch people sabotage other people, tear them down, break their hearts, stomp on them. Somebody praying for somebody. The truth hurts. It don't always feel good, but you gotta know that it's for the best. This your process. And God trying to fix your heart. If God don't fix your heart first, baby, I promise you, money gonna be at the end. You gonna have to, that's why I said don't be sowing and asking God for money. Because God may say, baby, your heart may need fixed. You may need a healing or a deliverance. Maybe you need some restoration. Maybe you need to forgive some people that have hurt you, that did not do you right. And God be testing us when we sow these seeds. He gets seed to the soil. But let me see if you're gonna trust me. Let me send somebody your way that remind you of you, that'll take you back to that place that you once was, where somebody disappointed you or mistreated you or did you wrong. Let me see how you going to handle that situation. God said he judges us by our heart. Why would he give you some money and your heart ain't right? Why would he give you a spouse and your heart ain't right? Come on now. It's your turn. You can't sit on this wave and God don't come see about you. He just ain't coming to see about what you want him to see about. God don't care nothing about your bills when he's trying to keep you alive. He's trying to give you a long life. He's trying to fix your heart. That's why people have heart attacks and die of a hardened heart. Their heart ain't right. Been hurt too much. Damaged. And don't know how to forgive and let it go. You're going to have to forgive some people that did you wrong, that mistreated you, that looked at you in a different way, that did not protect you. That even when you tried to apologize, they didn't forgive you. You're going to have to forgive them and yourself, and you're going to have to loose all this pain and hurt. You're going to have to empty yourself. We be saying, God, empty us. No, baby, empty yourself. It's time for you to do it yourself. You got to do your part. He already gave you what to do. He told you what to do. Now you got to apply it. You ain't got to call nobody and tell them to forget, baby. Just forgive them. Let it go. I forgive you. And let God change your heart. Your heart is hardened. I have a book that say Heart of Stone. It's about the hardened heart, forgiveness. When my school opened up, I'm about to start enrollment, but when the school opened up, everybody gonna have to buy a book because the book is gonna literally help you to heal and deliver depending on where you are. If you got a problem with leaving your dead place, leaving your family, if you got to play a part with unforgiveness, if you got a problem with taking accountability, if you got a problem with getting out of your own way, I got a book for all of them. And after you undid all of that, God be ready to give you your prosperity. See, there's a process that God goes through. He does it decent and in order. Like, he not giving you money and you ain't right. Like, your mindset, you double-minded. Like, I got a book for that. Renewing your mind. So I literally have books that walk you through the process to getting your prosperity. I have the keys to the kingdom, y'all. I just wrote a book called The Blueprint. I'm about to release it. And that's because if you step by step, everything I tell you to do, you're going to get your prosperity. You're going to get everything that God has for you. You're going to see thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I mean, you want to see hell on earth all your life. Why not try it? Why not try it? To know that somebody has everything you need to get everything God has, and God will give you a choice to be a part of it. But when I open this school and start this early enrollment, we're working on courses right now, curriculum right now. God already sending people to ask about signing up and about the courses and the classes. That's because he letting me know he about to unleash them and release them. People want to know about this stuff. They want to know how to have faith. They want to know how to heal themselves. They want to know how to forgive. They want to know how to get out their own way, how to take accountability. In order to get out your own way, you're going to have to take some accountability that you got some issues. You got some trust issues. You don't know how to love. You double-minded. You're gonna have to take some accountability that you got a control spirit, that you be nagging, that you selfish, you inconsiderate. That's the only way you're gonna get out your own way. You're gonna have to learn how to take accountability. You free. You just gotta do the work to become free. You free because Jesus died on the cross for you to be free. You just gotta do your part. Stop doing the stuff that ain't helping you. Stop accepting the stuff that's been done to you and giving it to other people. Sowing and reaping. Because they sow badness and wickedness into you, you don't mind seeing other people going through it and being wicked and going through rough trial. Well, I had to go through it. You do too. No, you went through it so your kids don't have to go through it. I was talking to one of my daughters the other day, and I said, she was like, my mom used to stay with this man and shouldn't have stayed with. I said, well, your mama did that so that you know not to do it. See, once you start understanding that stuff needed to be done so that you would never do it, you will stop looking at people in a bad way. Your mother had to be a horse so you wouldn't be one. That's why you like, I would never do that. Your daddy had to not be around for you to not want a man that wouldn't be around. So to be honest with you, they actually, they did some stuff that you didn't have. They sacrificed. They sacrificed to go through it so you wouldn't have to, because if you hadn't never seen the stuff that they went through and did, you wouldn't have never changed the way you were thinking. You wouldn't have been like, I ain't never having no kids by no whole lot of people. I'm going to wait till I get married. I'll never stay with my mama. I'll never treat them kids like that. I would never not cook for my kids. I would never not get my own place. See, it's what you went through that allows you to think the way that you think, and that's why you better than them. Some of us doing the same thing they did. That's why I could talk about, like, I literally seen my auntie them smoke and drink and club and play cards all our life. And now their kids doing it. And even though it's fun, and that's what the enemy wants us to think, that everything is about fun. That we put fun before being responsible and doing what's best for ourselves. But it wasn't until you seen your dad be a drug dealer that you realized you didn't want to be a drug dealer. You wanted to go to school. It wasn't until you realized You saw somebody in the family work all their life that you realized you wanted to be a business owner. You were like, I'm never gonna work no job like that. My mom was at work 2, 3 jobs all our life, one never at home, just exhausted and tired and wore out. And yes, you needed to see that so you could think a different way, so that you wouldn't fall into the trap. I mean, the first millionaire gotta come from somewhere. So if you stop thinking about stuff in a bad way and look at it as you needed to endure that, you needed to go through that, you needed to experience that. Why? Because this is what's going to make you better. This is what's going to make you not do what they did. I could literally see my whole family. All they do is party, drink, smoke, pop pills, and play cards. That's all they do. From the grandkids to the kids to the mamas. And it's generational. Like, they do it now. And you better not come tell them nothing about their kids. And I got that family where if you buy your kid a toy and they not playing with it and one of the other kids come play with it, they'll be like, get her toy. Hold up, baby, she wasn't playing with that. Like, that's how my family was. Like, they would take from another child just because it's their kids. So they would be like, why you ain't got what the kids said? I'd be like, oh, they at home. Why you don't never bring them? I don't raise my kids like y'all. I never brought my kids around. And they used to think I was acting funny. She ain't never got the kids. She ought to be ashamed of herself leaving her kids at home. No, baby, I'm protecting them. I don't want them to be like y'all kids. I don't want to put in their head that just because it's theirs, they supposed to take it. See, I'm a right is right and a wrong is wrong person. So I'm just one of those people, baby. If it ain't, I understand that it's yours. But if you're not using it, if you're not wearing it, if you're not playing with it, right now it's going to be mine. Because I see it and I'm playing with it and you weren't thinking about it. But when I hear people say, don't touch my kid, don't discipline them, and they need some discipline. Because they used to say this back in the day, what's that saying they used to say? It take a village to raise a child. Let me tell you what it take a village to raise the child mean. That mean you was just raised by a bunch of drug dealers and whores. They may not know wrong from right. They right may lead you to jail or hell or both. Now, because I was raised this way, I'm able to come over here and teach them some manners. Or you got this one who can teach them, who can discipline them, because y'all probably play and smoke and chill and party with your kids, and you gotta send somebody over here who gonna bring some order, structure, and some discipline. They gonna be like, don't talk to your mama like that. We ain't doing that in here. You gonna have to leave up out this house if you want to smoke and drink. I know you used to do it, but this ain't that. It's a man in the house. So when he say it takes a village to raise a child, it absolutely does. It takes more than one person. You got somebody who know how to love. You got somebody who patient. Yeah. You got somebody over here. Yeah. Because you ain't perfect. You need some help. And it's only us not taking accountability, thinking we don't need help. I got it. These my kids. I've been taking care of them. No, you've been dressing them and making them look good and sound good. I was just dating a guy. His whole family was like in corrections and law enforcement. And to know that the boys was always in jail. I said, oh my God. I'm thinking I got somebody with some common sense, baby. Y'all some whole wretched people. Like, how you in law enforcement but your kids stay in jail? Like, how does that make sense? That just shows that we'll make it look good and sound good. Now, he dressed his butt off. Hygiene was on point. Maybe all they knew how to do was to make a person look good and smell good. Maybe they just taught them how to dress it up and make it look like that they decent people. But in actuality, they didn't teach them and train them nothing. And these be the ones that you be like, dang, I thought they was some pretty decent people, and to find out that they just is messed up. And these be the ones say, don't tell my kids nothing. They be ride or die. That whatever my kids say is what it is. These be some messed up parents. I just was dating somebody like that. He flying drones over a federal prison, delivering drugs. Mama in law enforcement. And he was mad. He didn't think he was supposed to do no time. I said, how, like, you don't even want to take no accountability for what you did. Like, make it make sense. And that's what y'all doing to y'all kids. Y'all not raising them right. Y'all just make sure they got some Jordans and stuff on with a nice haircut. And the little hordes of girls that we raising where they in here shaking a tail feather. And long as they look good and they pretty with their hair done, we be like, look at my daughter. We quick to post them up on Instagram and TikTok and all these social media sites. And all you doing is raising little thugs, drug dealers, and whores. And soon somebody come and say, oh, you wrong for that. You shouldn't be doing it. Why you got that on that child? Y'all get mad when it take a village to raise a child. Some stuff you don't know, somebody else already have it. And I can't stand people that don't want to change and that can't be taught. When you come and try to correct them and help them, they get offended. Well, you just go ahead, take you and your little lineage on down the hill with you. Yeah, I get away from people like this so fast. Like, I dislike kids after so long if they look like little demons. If the family don't want to help raise them and teach them right from wrong. Like, I feel some type of way if you don't teach your children manners. Like, the guy I was just dating, I had bought his kids some stuff. And I was just like, okay, let me, I'm just very mannerable. Now, I'm not expecting you to say thank you. But I do feel like if you don't know this person and they done bought you some stuff, and especially when the dad ain't bought you nothing, yeah, in a long time, and somebody just come out the blue thinking about you, I feel like the mothers or the grandmothers should at least be like, call and say thank you. To know that nobody is making sure these kids even thankful. And I'm like, so you ain't gonna call and say thank you or tell them to say thank you? So I'm just supposed to do it. Oh, okay. It's okay. Like, I can't stand parents that think the way that they raise their kids is right. Just because y'all kids make honor roll don't mean you raising them right. You just teaching them how to conform to a system that God didn't create. Who cares if they make an honor roll and their heart ain't right? Like, it's people I made honor roll and I sold drugs. Like, my mama got all type of degrees and she homeless. Schizophrenic, bipolar, doing all type of stuff. I mean, what does that say? Most of the people who got all these degrees and stuff, they're a little retarded. Not all of them, but some of them lost. They've been lost in the sauce. So it's just time for us to stop dressing stuff up. I'm going to get on up off of here because I'm doing, I got to go. I'm going out of town. I love y'all. Have an amazing day. Today is the 5th day of the wave. Make sure you put your seed in the ground. I don't care if it's $1. You better try God every day. God needs to show up in your life. I mean, you want to sing the devil every day. You want to live heaven on earth every day. Why not try it God's way? Sow your way out and sow your way in. Blessings, Marvin. So I love you all. Have an amazing day. God is good. I see you soon. Bye.